Have you ever felt like your world was crumbling around you? Like the one person you trusted most just shattered your reality into a million pieces? I've been there. My story isn't just about betrayal. It's about what happens after the storm. It's about rebuilding, not from the rubble but from a brand new foundation. I remember the day I found out. The air suddenly felt thin, hard to breathe. The life my wife and I had built, the future we'd planned, it all felt like a lie. Every shared laugh, every promise, every "I love you" was instantly tainted. The initial shock was like a physical blow, leaving me hollowed out and lost. It would have been so easy to let that moment define me, to sink into a sea of bitterness and despair. And for a while, I almost did. I spent weeks just going through the motions, waking up, going to work, coming home to an empty house that echoed with memories. I was drowning in what ifs and whys. Why wasn't I enough? What did I do wrong? I replayed every moment, searching for a sign I missed, a clue that could have warned me. But that kind of thinking is a trap. It keeps you chained to a past you can't change, and a person who chose to walk away. One morning I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. His eyes were tired, his shoulders slumped. That was my rock bottom, but it was also my turning point. I realized I had a choice. I could let her actions destroy me, or I could use this pain as fuel. I chose fuel. I decided right then and there that my story wasn't going to be about how she broke me. It was going to be about how I rebuilt myself. The first step was the hardest: acceptance. Accepting that it was over, and it wasn't my fault. Her choices were a reflection of her, not of my worth. I stopped asking why me, and started asking, what's next for me? This shift in perspective was everything. It took the power away from her and put it back into my own hands. So I started small. I'd been neglecting my health, so I dusted off my running shoes and hit the pavement. At first, every step was a struggle, my lungs burning. But with every stride, I felt like I was running away from the old me and towards someone new. The physical exhaustion was a welcome distraction from the emotional turmoil. The gym became my sanctuary. Lifting weights wasn't just about building muscle, it was about building discipline and resilience. Each rep, each set, was a tiny victory, a testament to my own strength. I also reconnected with things I'd let slide. I started reading again, devouring books on philosophy, business, and self-improvement. I filled my mind with new ideas and possibilities. I reached out to old friends, the ones I hadn't seen in years. We went hiking, grabbed coffee, and just talked. Their support was a lifeline. They reminded me of who I was before the relationship, the guy who loved to laugh and explore. Slowly but surely, I started to change. Not for her, not to make her regret anything, but for me. My focus shifted from what I had lost to what I could gain. I poured all that energy I had once spent on the relationship into my career. I took on new projects. I volunteered for challenging assignments, and I started networking. My superiors noticed the new drive, the new confidence. Opportunities started opening up that I never thought possible. It's funny how life works. Months turned into a year, and I was a completely different person. I was healthier, more successful, and most importantly, I was happy. Genuinely happy. The kind of happiness that comes from within, not from someone else's validation. I had built a life I was proud of, a life that was entirely my own. And then, one day, she reached out. A simple text message. "I miss you. I made a mistake." A year ago, those words would have been all I wanted to hear. But now, they meant nothing. Reading them, I didn't feel anger or sadness. I felt indifferent. I realized the man she missed no longer existed. The man I was now. He was someone she never knew. And frankly, someone she could never deserve. I had leveled up in every aspect of my life. I had turned the deepest pain I'd ever known into my greatest strength. I didn't need her apology for closure. My closure came from looking at the man I had become and knowing that I had done it all on my own. I had become the man she could never have, not because I was seeking revenge, but because I had outgrown the space she once occupied in my life. My story is proof that your darkest moments can lead to your brightest days. Betrayal doesn't have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of a new chapter, one written entirely by you. It's a chance to become the hero of your own life. Don't let someone else's poor choices define your future. Use that pain. Channel it. Transform it into power. Build a life so full and so beautiful that you look back and thank the storm for clearing your path. If you're going through something similar, please know this. You are not broken. You are being remade. The journey is hard, but the person you become on the other side is worth every single step. Focus on yourself, invest in your growth, and rediscover your own worth. You have so much more strength than you realize. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it gives you a little bit of hope. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content about building a better life. I'll see you in the next one.